Hello, so you're looking for the count function. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm trying to think back to a time when I actually used the count function, and I don't think I ever have. I've used count if, I use that a lot, and other variants of it, but I don't often use the count. And the reason why is because the count really is designed to count up how many numbers there are, how many values there are in a range. So, and it might be useful with other formulas, but it's not necessarily that useful on its own. And count if becomes far more useful because then you can give it criteria as to what to look for in order to count. So if you want to have a look at the count if, that's a different video. Let me just show you how to use count. What count would do is if you were to select that range of numbers there, you can see at the bottom here, it says average, it says count, and it says sum. So the count there is 9. So there are 9 numbers within that range. If I put in, for example, the letter A there, and I do the same thing, that count there says 10, because it's not just counting numbers, it's actually counting anything, letters, words, numbers, whatever's in that cell. However, if I put in equals and count, and I select that range and then close the brackets. So you just type in equals to tell it it's a formula, count in capital letters, open the brackets, select the range that you want to count, close the brackets and enter. Now it actually says 9 because it's not counting the A. It's only counting the number of values, whereas at the bottom it did. So count can get a little bit confusing as to what it's counting, what's going on. The other thing is a lot of people will use count to divide by the sum in order to get the average, but you don't actually need to do that because there is an average formula. You can put in average, open brackets, and then the range and the close of brackets. So you've got an average formula. So you don't, I mean, as I said, I don't use count at all, but some people do. There are various situations where you would need it, but you've just got to be aware of what it's counting. So if you're going to be counting up a whole column worth of data, I would just do what I've done here, put in a few, test it out first, because as you can see, it's counting values. Even if those numbers come from a formula, if I put equals that, if that equals blank, and return blank, otherwise show me that. You don't need to know that formula. I just want to show you what happens if it comes from a formula. Even if I do that, this is now a blank. These are all formulated numbers. It still returns the total of 9. So it's still not counting the blank. And if that was 8, it's still not counting the blank. Whereas if I select that, it most definitely is counting the A. So in this count, obviously, it might differ to that count. So you just got to be aware of what you're doing. This is one of the reasons why I don't use the count, because it's not particularly useful, and it does produce some funny results in this kind of thing as to what you are actually counting. A count if will give you far more control over what you are actually counting so that you know that the answer is correct. But if you do want to use the count, that's how to do so. So thank you very much for your time. All the best. Bye-bye.